Crypto industry is being rocked by some huge news. The largest asset management company in the world, BlackRock, has reportedly submitted papers covertly to introduce an XRP ETF, according to leaked documents. This disclosure, which is supported by concrete information and goes beyond just rumors or conjecture, indicates that one of the world's largest financial institutions is placing significant bets on XRP's future. It is impossible to overestimate the significance of this. This action might completely change how Bitcoin investments are made. The launch of an XRP ETF by BlackRock will transform how investors access this digital asset and might cause its price to soar to $1,000, 0 cents and more. Levels that many believed were unattainable. We must examine the specifics, parallels, and underlying dynamics in order to fully comprehend why this event is so significant. As we investigate the possible effects and prospects of XRP, stay tuned. Let's first take a moment to review the contributions that ETFs have made to the cryptocurrency market, particularly to Bitcoin. The way that investors may now access and trade cryptocurrencies has been completely transformed by these financial products. An important turning point was reached when Bitcoin ETFs were approved, bringing cryptocurrency from the realm of fringe speculation to mainstream finance. The digital asset field now has a new degree of legitimacy and recognition as a result of this change, without having to deal with the technical difficulties of wallets, private keys, or exchanges. This ETFs made it simple for millions of individuals and organizations to invest in Bitcoin. This accessibility has changed everything. Following ETF approvals, Bitcoin's price and market capitalization skyrocketed, demonstrating the potential of this type of instrument to unlock demand and liquidity. It proved that regulated investment vehicles have enormous potential. Because XRP is uniquely positioned as a useful tool for cross-border payments and liquidity provision, rather than just as a store of value or speculative asset, BlackRock's proposal with XRP seems to provide an even greater possibility. This has the potential to completely change how we see and utilize digital currency. Goldman Sachs' new foray into the XRP custody market should now also be taken into account. This is a significant advancement. Institutional investors want safe, compliant custody solutions in order to manage their assets before they may invest in XRP. Major banks and institutional players now have a reliable infrastructure to hold and manage XRP thanks to Goldman Sachs' introduction of XRP custody services. This eliminates trust and security, two major barriers to widespread adoption and investment. The infrastructure to support large institutional investment is finally coming together with the launch of Goldman's custody solution and BlackRock's ETF filing. The changing ownership balance between institutional and ordinary investors is another important factor to consider. Institutions are quickly gaining XRP, overtaking retail investors in ownership share for the first time in years, according to recent data, because institutions typically keep assets for a long time, offering price stability and a basis for steady growth. This change is essential. On the other hand, retail investors are frequently more volatile and reactive. The arrival of wealthy institutional investors suggests that the XRP market is maturing and suggests that there may be a long-term bull run with strong financial support. According to price forecasts, the $1,000 0 cents goal may seem excessive to some, but the economic justification is strong. XRP's usefulness resides in its capacity to revolutionize the international payment system. Currently processing over $6 trillion, 0 cents in cross-border payments every day, the SWIFT network is antiquated, costly, and slow. A blockchain-based substitute that is quicker, less expensive, and more transparent is provided by XRP. The demand for XRP coins to supply liquidity would skyrocket if the network started to take even a small portion of this enormous market. Basic supply and demand economics could cause XRP's price to rise exponentially due to a limited circulation supply brought on by escrow contracts, and growing institutional accumulation reaching $1,000 at 0 cents is a mathematically conceivable medium to long-term result when taking into account the anticipated volume of transactions and liquidity requirements. The regulatory environment cannot be disregarded either. For years, XRP has been plagued by uncertainty due to Ripple's protracted conflict with the SEC. Nonetheless, recent court rulings, internal SEC document leaks, and regulatory cues point to a possible change in favor of XRP receiving more explicit legal permission. Clarity in regulations is crucial for institutional investors. many have remained silent out of concern about potential enforcement actions or legal ambiguities. Right now, the leaked BlackRock ETF registration shows increasing assurance that XRP will soon be acknowledged as being in compliance with US securities regulations. Trillions of dollars in capital that have been waiting for a secure legal environment to invest in XRP will be made available by this clarification. The financial ecosystem is already changing as a result of this institutional and regulatory impetus. Other asset managers, custodians, and financial institutions, including Fidelity, Vanguard, and State Street, will most likely accelerate their own XRP products in response to BlackRock's decision. A positive feedback loop of liquidity, adoption, and market capitalization increase for XRP will be produced by this competition. The introduction of numerous ETFs, mutual funds, and custodial services will further integrate XRP into the conventional financial landscape, facilitating participation for both large institutions and individual investors. It is also impossible to undervalue the social and communal component. The announcement of BlackRock's registration has caused a surge of confidence among prominent experts, social media sites, and cryptocurrency communities. Because short-term price movements are frequently driven by market sentiment, this greater attention is essential. Influencers and opinion leaders are drawing parallels between this time and the early ETF news about Bitcoin, which is generating a lot of attention and increasing awareness and buying pressure. A self-reinforcing cycle of enthusiasm and investment may result from this societal momentum acting as a trigger for additional institutional interest. This is an important and exciting time for individual investors. Although there is a very real chance that XRP will reach $50,000, cryptocurrency markets are erratic and unpredictable. It's critical to monitor institutional flow statistics, keep abreast of regulatory developments, and stay informed. The window to enter BlackRock's ETF debut before the overall market fully pricing in may be limited, so timing will be key. However, investors who strategically position themselves now may profit tremendously from the expected spike if they have a long-term outlook and practice good risk management. In conclusion, one of the most important developments for XRP in recent history is BlackRock's leaked XRP ETF file, which has the potential to completely change the cryptocurrency investing environment. The growing dominance of institutional ownership is becoming more apparent, and believable pricing models based on actual transaction volume point to a strong upward trend. This is especially true in light of Goldman Sachs' custody launch, which represents a turning point for institutional adoption of cryptocurrency. XRP is on the verge of a significant breakout and is expected to see unheard of growth. The prospects for rapid expansion are further enhanced by regulatory certainty and financial institution competition, which makes XRP's future extremely bright. The potential is great if these elements line up as anticipated. It is possible for XRP to reach or perhaps beyond $1,000, a significant milestone that may completely change the market, changing global banking and the cryptocurrency industry in ways we can't even fathom. With XRP at the vanguard, this is a momentous occasion, a watershed in financial history, and the start of what might be the largest financial revolution of our time. Notice, this movie is intended solely for informational and educational reasons. It isn't financial guidance. Before making any investing decisions, please conduct your own research and speak with a financial advisor.